Yeah, I believe it's live. So, hello and welcome to the latest Devlog for urban farmers. Um, I'm trying to uh, do it on Wednesdays, but we've had some schedule mishap in the previous weeks due to conferences. So, I'm trying to bring the date back to Wednesday uh, slowly. So, last time it was Friday, now it's Thursday. So, maybe next week we'll do the one on Wednesday. So, since last episode, uh, as you may tell from the title of the stream, that we have soiled, meaning um, this interface doesn't quite reflect it, but let's go back to our game to show about what I mean by soil. We are adding different soil types. For now, we have three types: clay, sandy, and silty type of soil. We may add a fourth type. So, as some of you may know, if you gardened before, that not every plant likes sandy soil or silty soil. For example, potatoes like sandy soil. So, if you plant them in soil where it's really dense, like clay, uh, they're not going to be happy. So, the looser, the better. So, uh, potatoes like this the least. They like this a little bit better, but then if they are in a sandy soil, it's even better. So you will have a chance to pick the best soil type for the plant uh, you want to grow. Um, so let's pretend that we want to put some sandy soil into structure. Um, for test purposes, we are using this compost unit as a container to hold the soil. I believe this afternoon we are going to finish this trellis to accept soil. This compost model was just available for us. So if we click this, we are now picking how much sandy soil we want to add in this unit. Confirm. We had 43.44 liters of soil added. I believe we actually have, yeah, we are checking the amount. It's now printed to the console. Um, we will take the necessary action for different units when the right time comes. So I believe this trellis uh, going to be functional. Yeah. So right now, in the preview model, you see it without the soil, but this model, once it's placed in the world, it comes with soil. This is of course our early test model. Normally, this should come empty when you place it in world, and you are going to follow this mechanic to fill it with the soil type that you would like to see there. Um, so that will be done this afternoon, I believe, all the functionality. So we just have the confirmation that it is tracked properly. So that's that. Um, it will also be possible to swap the soil later. Um, that button is missing here, but we have that button in Figma. So this button will let you swap the soil. Maybe we'll give a way to supplement a particular plant's location with a different soil type. Maybe that's just too much detail because everything that you see on the left-hand side is concerning the whole structure itself. In this case, it's a raised bed. It could have been a trellis too. And these are custom actions that you are taking per plant. So there is going to be some game design decision. We are doing it sort of globally or structure wise versus plant wise. So we'll see how that goes. Um, let's see. I'm looking at my notes. We start to work on some kind of chart or graph system because everything is still is a bit test case here. I believe. See. I think I may have forgotten how to bring the chart. There was one case here we kind of bounded to a silly combination here. We are working out the line graph, uh, histograms, and other chart types because they will be essential under finance and stats. So maybe you'll keep track of your harvests, what works, what doesn't from year to year. There is going to be some kind of visualization done for you so that you're not tracking numbers. It's easier to look at charts. Uh, I may also be in the wrong branch for that. Combination may not work because I don't have the right branch checked out. So there are some additional work done uh, like that too. But I believe in this branch, the house will bring up this menu. This is too simple, but it's just the basics of it that to make a jar of um, some kind of paste or sauce or something. Uh, this is what we are going to work on soon. This might change, of course, this week because sometimes we decide to go with other systems that will feed data into this section. But starting from an endpoint and going backwards sometimes pays off too. So to populate the data here, we need to have some stuff ready in the player's inventory. And how do we get to those elements? We kind of backtrack and then simple systems. Um, Before we actually did this part, it kind of led us to maybe designing the rest of the house. So most stuff in your garden, they are interactive units. The raised bed, a trellis, when you click them, they each have their own menus. So you could take the proper action, rain barrel, and composting unit too. So the house is acting in a similar way, except it's a combination of different things you can do. In this case, we are going to disable donate, farmers market, and legal actions. Um, they may actually be in a DLC, or depending on the funding we get, we may reprioritize them. Um, we decide to leave the economics and preserve as part of the public demo for November. Um, preserve in this interface, you kind of see the detail of preserve. Um, this is sort of the end result. There will be other screens before you get to see a recipe like this. Uh, Most likely, like, okay, preserve could also be understood as process. Like, what do I have? What do I want to do with this harvest that I have? And then you click a few options, and eventually you come across a basil pesto recipe. So this is the final step. So as I said before, now that we know we want to see this, what is the other intermediary actions that I need to fill in between this major button and the end result? So some work has to be done. But the basic premise here is you will have some ingredients that will always be available in your house. We are assuming every household will have olive oil, perhaps. And some of this stuff you may have to buy it because you sometimes you won't have those things readily available, and some other stuff that you have to grow in your garden. And eventually, you'll decide the quality, the quantity of this recipe, and there's going to be some cost to it, whether you are buying some of the ingredients or not. And this may very well be one item that the scenario may be asking you to make. So maybe for winter, you are supposed to make 30 jars of tomato paste or tomato sauce or other recipes. Um, so we'll see how many recipes we should come up with, how, how it should actually affect your gameplay. So those things are still, they have yet to be decided. Um, but that's it. So if you have any comments about the level of detail you want to see here, please let us know. So this might still be a little bit too maybe advanced, or say this isn't about gardening, this interface. Maybe you would like to see less of this, but more of gardening actions. We are going to implement those things as well, for sure. But we want the player to do something with their harvest. Recipe making is going to be one of those. And maybe we'll change our priority, and maybe we'll implement these two others before we do the recipe. So in that sense, any feedback is welcome. And on that note, I think this is a good moment to conclude this week's devlog. So see you on the next one.